I'm founder of Costa Women, which is a free community for women living in Spain or women thinking about heading this way. I just want to thank our sponsor for this interview, Currencies Direct. Currencies Direct make it easy to transfer money from one currency to another, whichever country you happen to be in. So check them out at currenciesdirect.com. So today I'm joined by the lovely Yvonne Radley, who is founder of Big Me Up Media. Yvonne is one of the most sought after specialists in her area in media and marketing, and is a media and marketing expert in the industry. Her niche is making fitness pros famous and catapulting them to everyday stars so they can live their dream lives and stop worrying about where the next paycheck is coming from. I recently met Yvonne at our Make It Happen conference in Marbella. So hi, Yvonne.
Hi, lovely to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
You're very welcome, and sorry for my blah, 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 blah.
No, it's cool.
So as I mentioned at the very beginning, the theme for these interviews is Make It Happen. So could you just start by telling us how you made it happen in your original business journey?
Yeah, it's quite an interesting story. I was actually working on radio. I'm a journalist, so been a journalist for over 20 years. And I got made redundant. This was back in just at the end of 2009. In fact, the day I left Capital FM here in the UK was Christmas Eve.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so yeah.
And a bit bar humbug.
Yeah, it was very much like that. And then at the time I was dating a personal trainer. And I'd said to him, why don't we, this was at the time of the financial crash, I'm sure you all remember. And I said, why don't we move back to my house over in Nottingham? We were in Leicester at the time, where I worked and where he was. And let's take this redundancy money. It wasn't a lot, a few thousand. And let's start our own boot camp, because I'd met him at a boot camp. He was one of the trainers. And I thought, I know enough about publicity to get the ball rolling. Anyway, long story short, we created probably the second biggest boot camp in England. There was only British military fitness at the time. There was none of these budget gyms. Even CrossFit hadn't really come onto the scene at this point. And so we had 9 sites in Nottinghamshire. So we grew very fast over 18 months, and we started to win awards, and we started to go to a lot of industry events, networking events, you know, the sort of thing.
Yeah.
And other fitness professionals, particularly boot camp owners, initially, it was who I worked with to start with. They were like, how have you done it? How are you winning these awards? How have you grown so fast? We're struggling to get people in the door. And I said to them, well, I just get him on the radio and I send a press release out every month. And they said to me, what's a press release? And I thought, oh, there's a gap in the market here. So I fused my 2 careers, my journalism experience and how I knew how PR worked from the inside. And I started teaching them how to get into the local paper, radio, national magazines, how to become the expert. And then it grew and grew and grew. And it's not just fitness professionals now. I mean, I do work with, you know, any small business really, but it's mainly I'm in that fitness, wellness, beauty regime. So yoga teachers, hypnotherapists, anybody that works in that kind of area, I help them to grow their profile. And that's how Big Me Up Media was born. It was literally about 2 years into the boot camp because we had such growth. And then my relationship broke down with the personal trainer, and I've just continued on my own. So for the past 3 years, I've been doing this alone. Although he wasn't even really involved in the Big Me Up Media business.
Right.
We just boot camp together. But yeah, that's kind of how it was born. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think for a lot of solopreneurs, it is very difficult to manage that part of their profile themselves. Obviously I work a lot with women, and women tend to not want to promote themselves.
Exactly.
Overly promote themselves. So
yeah, because it sounds like you're showing off or you're bragging, and that's why we call big yourself up, because you do literally have to big yourself up. But one of the best ways to do it is to get other people to talk about you. So we do it by using testimonials and case studies, so that when we're trying to get stuff in the papers, we're not necessarily talking about ourselves, we're getting our clients to talk about us and the changes that we've made in their lives, that kind of thing.
Okay, yeah. And I met you when you came over for the International Women's Day conference in Marbella, which was
so brilliant. I absolutely loved it.
Well, we loved having you there, and you actually helped us all rock our Instagram learning.
Yes.
With your talk at the conference. But just turning the tables on you rather than asking you Instagram questions, What did you actually learn from the day?
Oh yeah, I remember this question coming up. There was two things that really struck my mind. One is my friend Hanny, who had the whole audience in tears, including me. I don't know how I'd listened to that the night before and managed not to shed a tear. I think it's just because I had my journalistic hat on, and when she went through it and sort of got my business head on. But on the day, oh my God. And I think the main lesson that she taught was that we have to live in alignment with ourselves. She told the story about how her mum very sadly passed away, and how she'd not lived in alignment with herself. And there was this constant struggle going on. And I do see it, particularly with women in business, like when me and my partner split, you know, I knew it wasn't the right thing being with him, but it's a struggle to go alone. But I just couldn't live in that way. And so I think that resonated with me, and I know it did with a lot of women in the audience, about living in our alignments. That was one thing. But the other person that really inspired me was, I think her name was Sue, and she was an older lady, and she said that she was in her 70s.
So France, yeah.
And she connects people and gets them to well, she just connects people. She just added me into her networking group, actually. And I just thought she was so inspirational. She didn't want anything from anybody. She looks amazing, and just such a beautiful person. I definitely want to get to know her a little bit better.
Yeah, no, she is. She's very inspirational. I met her through Twitter. I meet a lot of people through Twitter. And it was great to have her and her women's network from Cheshire come over and join us. It was really good. Yeah, she is very inspirational. So one of your other passions is helping people explore a dream life. And actually, I've got this on my desk. I don't know if
awesome. Yeah, definitely. I love it.
So it says, dream as if you'll live forever, live as if you'll die today.
Yeah.
So, tell us about the academy, the Dreamlife Academy that you have set up.
So the Dreamlife Academy I set up because not everybody could afford my one-to-one prices, but they wanted to learn what I could teach and how to grow a business. So part of it is letting people work in that group. So it's like a group. So they still get me twice a month on a Q&A, and they still can pick my brains, and they get my modules. So I have 4 key modules in year 1, and every year you get 2 new modules that are added. And it's the 4 key modules that I believe you need for a successful business nowadays. And part of the dream for the guys in it, there's always 40 people in it, is that I've made it affordable for them. So it's only £125 a month, you know, rather than thousands for a mentor or anything like that. So it's affordable. And then the idea is that they will grow their business, and then they'll be able to go on and live their dream lives. And when we talk about dream lives, we're not talking about a Ferrari on the driveway and a 7-figure income like all the boys do, particularly in the health and fitness world. We're talking about, for them, it might be that they don't want to work weekends. They want to spend more time with the kids. They don't want to be working when it's time to pick the kids up from school. They want more family holidays. For me, you know, I think as you get older, time becomes more important than money. So I like to have time and money to pop over to Spain to see my friend Hanny and to see you guys. I don't like to be restricted. I like to be able to go anywhere in the world. If I want to go to a conference, I can just go and learn some more stuff. So everybody has their own idea of a dream life. And I teach them. We start with the business module. So each module is over a quarter, so 12 weeks. And the business module you have to do every year, because one of the first things we do is decide what our dream life is and what the goal for the year is going to be. They're 2 key things. We also give ourselves a hashtag every year, which goes to the core of you, and it's all about your why you're doing something. My very first one was after I'd split with my boyfriend, my partner, and that was hashtag travel. And I literally did spend the year traveling the world. I was out of the country for 3 months in total, going to all different places. This year it's hashtag what if it was easy.
Okay.
So I've got that mantra going on, and whatever I'm asked to do, or if I have an idea, you immediately start to talk yourself out of it, don't you? So I'm like, but what if it was easy, Yvonne? What does that look like?
Okay.
So we do that, and then that's the business module. Then we do a media module, and again, we do that every year. So business and media, we do every year. And then the third one is story. So we look at the about page, we look at your mission statement, all about the persona that you're putting online, for example, or the persona that you can use to get business. And then the final one kind of brings everything together, all the business, all the media, the persona, and it's the branding module. And I use a very archetypal way of branding. So people have these characters. And
Right.
once you know your characters and the language that goes along with that character, it's very much easier to put yourself out into the world, to big yourself up, because you're almost stepping into somebody else's shoes when you're doing it. But that's not to say that it's not, that you're not being authentic. It truly is about exposing who you are, really, and getting to the core of who you are. And that's what it is.
Great. Okay. So it's really about giving people choices, whatever their choices happen to be. They're actually then can work out what their choice is for moving forward. And
definitely, and living in your passion. Yeah. So, you know, like I say, some people don't want to work weekends, but they've probably got a group of women who they've always done Pilates on a Saturday morning, but they don't want to do that anymore. And it's just about, how do you exit that and live your dream?
Yeah. Yeah. So what does your dream life look like for Yvonne Radley?
Well, for me, it is about working part-time hours, really, but earning a really good full-time income. That's not necessarily to say that it's like a 4-hour work week, because I would be bored. I am such a workaholic.
Yeah.
But I like time to do research. I like time to go to conferences. When I came to see you guys, I'd just come back from San Diego, where I go to the Social Media Marketing World Conference. And that's not cheap. You know, by the time you pay for airfare, the course itself is $1,200. You're out every night networking. So it's a big investment. And so it's being able to afford to go, you know, to travel the world and to learn and to mix and to network. And like I came over to the Costa Women event. So that is for me what my dream life looks like. I think it's changing slightly this year. I've done 4 years now of #travel.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh God, I just don't want to go anywhere. This quarter is the first quarter that I've not got any travel plans.
Okay.
And I'm actually quite looking forward to just getting my head down. I'm creating some new content this year for the Dreamlife Academy. And I'm just really looking forward to being at home. And yeah, so it's changing ever so slightly this year with not so much travel.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I've noticed that people find it difficult to invest in themselves.
Yes.
That's obviously something that you're working with your tribe to do, to help them to invest in themselves as well as their business.
Definitely. Yeah. And I always say to people, whether they're working with me one-on-one or in a group format, you know, I should pretty much get you your investment back within the first 90 days. And people that pay me monthly, they stay with me for years, because they always earn more that month. Even just now, just teaching them about GDPR, which everyone's up in arms about,
Yeah.
you know, I've probably saved them a fortune by steering them in the right direction. So a lot of it is just clearing the path for them, making sure that it's lit so that they can see where they want to go. I'm not choosing the path, they choose the path. I'm just making sure it's well lit.
Yeah. Love that. Right, a quick fire round.
Yes.
So hold on to your horses. business book you're currently reading, and number one thing you've learned from it.
Oh, I'm reading The Big Leap. Let me check. I'm doing it on Audible, actually.
Okay.
And I've got it on. You know how you can speed up the voice? Because he's a very slow speaker. Oh my God, I think it's called The Big Leap. Let me see. Yeah, The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks.
Okay.
It's okay. A lot of people are buzzing about it. It's the book that everybody's reading.
Yeah.
When I was reading it, I was like, it's kind of saying a lot of the same stuff that Susan Jeffers did with Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway.
Yeah.
But it's going more down the psychological route. So I think I'm really enjoying the psychological aspect to the book. And yes, last night he was getting us to do a like a Russian doll experiment. So he gets you to choose what is your unique skill in the world. And I think my unique skill in the world is that I'm very perceptive. I can read people. Certainly came in very handy when I was a journalist. But then you go a little bit deeper. So that's perception is the key one at first. So then what's the doll under that? And it's like, well, I know how to use language to communicate with people on their wavelengths. And then you take that dull away and it's like, okay, what's the next step? So I really enjoyed that exercise.
Yeah, okay.
Quite deep.
So it's like peeling an onion.
Yeah.
Peeling off the bits of the onion.
Of yourself, which
yeah.
we never stop and do that.
No, we don't.
I had some weird dreams last night, and I'm sure that's why.
The best piece of advice you've ever been given?
I think the best piece of advice, oh God. Actually, I'm going to go to Marie Forleo for this one. And she says, what's the phrase that she uses? Everything is, oh my God, I can't remember it. That's typical, isn't it? Basically, she's saying everything is fathomable, like you shouldn't stop, that you can always figure a way around it. Because I think where people give up is, an obstacle will come along, Mercury will be in retrograde, equipment will break down. It always happens when you want to launch. Always before you're about to take a big leap, something will go wrong. Somebody will get ill, you might get ill. So there's always barriers that come along and try and stop us. But I think you've just got to go around it, under it, over it, whatever, just don't stop. I always say to my guys, just cross that finish line and then you win. It doesn't have to be perfect, just go over the finish line.
Yeah, and that's great advice. So I'm waving my magic make it happen wand, and I'm giving you one wish for your business. What are you daydreaming about?
Do you know what? Again, this year, this might surprise you because I'm all about the dream life and everything. But actually, I just want this year to be exactly the same as last year.
Okay.
Because I'm very happy where I am. I am pretty much living my dream life. I work with my son. We work from home. I have no desire to have a massive team in an office. I don't want to work in London. I want to be able to travel, like I said. I like 40 people in my Dreamlife Academy. I don't want any more really, because that's too many to cope with. And so if you could wave a magic wand, I mean, I would love to spend the next few years doing this, to know that it's stable.
Right.
That would be great for me.
Yeah. Because I think sometimes we get to a place where we're stable and we think, well, I should be doing something else. Whereas
I should be bigger.
Yeah, but you shouldn't. You should just be enjoying it.
That's the mistake we made with our boot camp. We had 2 sites that were very profitable, and yes, we grew to be bigger, and we had 9 sites and it was amazing and everyone was talking about us and we were earning good money, but the money was revenue, it wasn't profit. It was much more profitable just having the 2 big sites that earned us the most money. And also my job changed because I was just then in charge of a team. I wasn't out on the playing field, so to speak. I was busy running an office, which is what I did as a journalist, as an editor. I had a team of reporters under me, and it's not what I wanted to do. I like to get in and muck in and teach.
Yeah.
And so my role changed, and I think you have to be very careful if you do grow. And the only way you can have a massive business, I believe, is to have a team. So yeah, I'm very happy to stay small.
Good. Good. And when was the last time you did something which made you a quadruple threat?
Oh yes, I had that on my website, didn't I? That I'm a quadruple threat. I suppose the Dreamlife Academy, in a sense, when I launched that 2 years ago, did make me a bit of a quadruple threat in my industry that I work in, because a lot of the so-called gurus or the leaders in the fitness, health and wellness world are men. And a lot of them do one-to-one training. It's not so much group. And I think organising that group served, again, there was a gap in the market. I think I'm quite good at spotting a gap in the market. And I think it naturally evolves with me. So we do business. I do traditional media. I also do social media because that has evolved.
Yeah.
And then also I do the mentoring as well. Like, my clients are my friends, and if somebody needs help and they inbox me, I'm there for them. So I think, creating the Dreamlife Academy, yes, I am a threat to other people in the industry because I've taken people that might have gone and worked with them and they're working with me, and hopefully they'll never leave me. They'll stick with me because we get results and because it's a great community. A lot of people that were in year 1 are still in there now, and I'm hoping that it just grows and grows and grows, and that we, eventually probably it would be nice to have 2 groups. But yeah, I think that's probably what made me a quadruple threat. And the fact that I can do the social media, the traditional media, the business, and be a friend to them as well.
Yeah. No, that's crucial. So finally, what next for Yvonne?
Oh my God. Well, I'm actually writing a book.
Wow.
Well, I say I'm writing a book. Just before Christmas, I bashed out loads of chapters and managed to get quite a lot of it done. To be perfectly honest, I haven't touched it since. But every day I'm thinking about it. And I mean, I need to take my own advice, because I want this book to be as good as Tim Ferriss's 4-Hour Work Week. I want it to change lives. It's called, I've already got the title, it's called How to Live Your Dream Life Without the Ferrari. And it is based on the Dreamlife Academy. So I'm teaching the branding that I teach. I'm teaching the business and the hashtags and all those elements that I teach. So I'm kind of taking what I teach in the course into the book, so that it can spread for a lot of people. I want to hit the masses. I think that's the next big thing for me, is to hit that mass audience. And hopefully it will be a bestseller.
Wow, I'm really looking forward to reading that one. Can't wait to get one. So how can we connect with you and find out more about Dreamlife Academy and all the services that you offer?
So my website is bigmeupmedia.com, but the best place to come and hang out with me is on Instagram, and that is bigmeupmedia.
Okay, great. Well, we'll look forward to seeing you on Instagram, and thanks very much, Yvonne, for joining us today.
Thank you.